do?
What do you mean? Like, what are your skills? What's your game plan? Oh, okay, yeah, I'd find a man. Find a man? Yeah, I mean, am I strong? Sure. Am I capable? Sure. Am I stronger or more capable than a well-trained man? No. Okay, well, that's internal misogyny, but we're not even gonna talk about that. Why do you think this man is just gonna protect you? Oh, yeah, that's where my, skills come in. Oh. What should I have said, like archery or something?
Oh, God bless her. You guys know what's worse than 2 lesbians in a Subaru?
What?
2 old fucking lesbians in a Subaru. Sorry, I'm road raging.
See, I thought this was just gonna add additional lesbians, and all of a sudden, it's like...
No, they're just older, so they drive worse. That's all.
Yeah.
Sorry, no big joke or anything. Just stating facts.
If they were
No
Asian, then old and Asian, then that's
lesbian.
like yes. Then you're hitting the trifecta of terrible driving.
I wouldn't even be alive to be talking to you guys right now if that was the case. If they were Asian too, Jesus, that would have been a catastrophe.
Apparently, so Sean didn't think he had ever. I said something about we were driving to school the other morning, and I said, "How much signal I need to cross 8 lanes of traffic? None. I go now. Good luck, everybody." And he's like, "What?" He goes, "What?" I was like, "The family. That's the Family Guy clip. The Asian woman driver. You don't know." So then I played the clip for him, and as soon as I played it, he was like, "Oh, yeah, I do know that." And I was surprised, aside from me and my wife, nobody in my family was familiar with the Hot Crazy Matrix, which I guess I shouldn't be that surprised because none of y'all were familiar with the Hot Crazy Matrix before I played it on the show one day either. So, and I wasn't aware that was such a unknown thing, but I guess it is.
It's just something that from like context, you should be able to, if somebody asks you, have you ever heard of the Hot Crazy Matrix? It's like, oh no, but if you think about it for 2 seconds, it's like, oh yeah, okay, yep, that makes sense. We all get the thing, but that's why, when he puts it in the graph, it's so beautiful, and accurate. He really did a good job of illustrating that.
I found a really good one. It has like an add-on at the end. It's the same thing for the women. Oh, it's the women's version of it, like for guys, but it's the cute rich matrix. So, and there's only 3 quadrants. I love you, dear. Have a good day. She's just sitting there staring
cute,
at me.
Not rich. Rich, not cute. Cute and rich.
Yeah, there's only 3 quadrants. It's like rich. The rich axis goes this way, and the cute axis goes this way. And he said there's 3 zones. The women have a very large no-go zone where you're neither cute nor rich. And then on the linear axis, or on the once you've achieved a certain level of richness, then it no longer matters how cute you are. Yeah, and then there's this other date zone. And then there's the fun zone where you are cute but broke.
So they'll date you if you're cute but broke, but
your yoga instructors and the like.
Yeah. I don't even know if you call that dating. It's
It's just the guys, the tacos.
That's the
among
fun
us,
zone,
right? Who just slay it, all day with no responsibilities, and they're total losers. There's a few of them out there. You age out of that though. You gotta. But I mean, same thing with the hot chicks who aren't good for anything else, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you age out of that shit, and then you don't got no skills, and then you're just working the pole at 50.
Like he says on the in the video, he's like, any woman that you have located on this chart at a previous time can disappear from that location and reappear literally anywhere else on the chart at any given moment. So don't like just because she was over here in the hot side, like in the date zone at one point, doesn't mean she won't end up in the no-go zone next time you see her. Like, just be prepared.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean those hot high school cheerleaders, and then you're like, oh yeah, they go to college and they become kind of washed out, and then
let's not be sexist. I mean, this is a lesson to hotties, both men and women. Learn a trade. While you're being hot, put a little bit of effort out there, learn a fucking trade, and then that way, when you're not hot anymore, you can still get by.
Yeah.
The freshman 15 is not exclusive to females.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of the hot crazy Matrix, where would you put Nikki Haley on that chart?
Oh God. Is there some, like, not on the chart? Like, is there somewhere like outside the chart I can put her? Because it's like, I feel like it needs to be like. Oh man.
Who is that? Is that the Florida Attorney General or Department of Agriculture lady? Who is that?
So, I think she was governor of South Carolina at one point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody made the joke that her lips are so tight that even if you tried to get it in there, you wouldn't be able to.
Do we have a picture?
She is.
Oh, Nikki Haley.
Come on, this is a video format. Sorry, I'm just ragging you because I'm driving and can't.
Yeah, let's pull up the latest girl boss here.
We are fully relying on Trey today, so this will go well, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, she's posting her clips about her debate.
Haley stole the show.
No one is. You've got Mike Pence. They all voted to raise the debt when they passed.
There you go. There's your visual. Is that what you want right here?
Yeah, that's definitely a Southern look, and it's not great. It's something about that. It's like from a purely like academic standpoint, her face is probably kind of symmetrical, and like, she's probably like, supposed to be kind of pretty, but like, I don't know, man, I can't do that.
Yeah, I mean this she's kind of got a jawline going on there.
I would put her firmly in the danger zone. She is probably like a 5.8 to a 6. She's like not
a psychopath.
Right, she's not bad looking. She could be fun zone material, except that the more she talks, the more it's like, the
less fun you want to have.
Yeah, there's some things that aren't.
I think it's time for an accountant in the White House.
But Nikki Haley just knocked it out.
They need to know the difference between right and wrong.
That's the problem. Pause it. That's the problem. Is Nikki Haley just knocked it out, and whenever the Atlantic and CNBC and CNN and the Washington Post are all talking about how Nikki Haley is the best candidate that the Republicans have on the debate stage, and they can't understand why she's 45 points behind Trump and why she's like only the 6th most popular amongst the Republican candidates. It's like, because y'all think she should be the candidate, because y'all think that she's good. If you think she's good, that's the biggest, like, this bitch is like red. No. This bitch is like red flag galore. But as soon as you see that all of mainstream media thinks that she should be the front running candidate for the Republican Party, that's the biggest red flag of all. That's like, nope, go away. This is not good.
Plus, this is a massive red flag too. Look at this overbite. Jesus Christ! Like, I mean, I have an overbite and it's not this bad. Jesus Christ. Oh. But yeah, they've been praising her. They said basically it's her. I don't even think like they're counting Vivek out, which I mean that was part of the whole debates thing. here recently. Like, I don't know. He's kind of, but I feel like he's destroying them because they don't know what they're doing. But then
She looks like somebody at a country bar who goes from being really fun to then 2 tequila shots away from being a total mess and has to be drugged out of there.
Yeah,
that's what she looks like a line dancing bar. You know what I'm talking about? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, it's. I've always had a rule that you don't fuck white trash chicks because they will end up keying your car and slashing your tires. And she's got that look like. She can you can dress up the turd, but it's still a turd. Like she is born and bred white trash. She's managed to rise above it. But yeah, she's 2 tequila shots in, and it all comes back, and then you're like, oh yeah.
She's trying to fight everybody. She looks like somebody who gets in fights. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of those that disappears from the. That's one of those that disappears from the fun zone and reappears in the danger zone very abruptly. It's like, oh, this got turned on its head real fast.
Over the course of 30 minutes.
It's like, run, bitch, run! And the funny thing is, we're all redneck enough. We all know that chick, like in our hometown. It's like you can picture her right now. It's like, yeah, she's a lot of fun until she's not. Then it's like abandon ship. Leave that bitch in the woods somewhere. Don't wait for her to sober up.
Yeah, I knew a chick like that. She ended up being a druggie. She got into meth a little bit. Like she got into a little bit of meth there. So
when you're on meth, you have a lot more energy to be crazy. It's perfect.
Yeah, but you also have less teeth, so
that's true.
I mean, you could take that as a good thing, but
well, it depends on how messed up the grill is. I mean, look, I'm a fond appreciator of a good trailer park teeth. You know, like I mean, you know, they get like the. I'm gonna stop talking. Too good of a smile indicates they're out of my league. So you know, it's there's that good middle zone there.
They're looking a little rough, you know. Yeah, like you don't want them like look like their whole mouth is like rotting to.
Right. I mean, you know, I still have standards.
Right, you can be missing teeth as long as the gum upkeep is, acceptable.
Yeah. It's really classy when they get the bridge with the 2 fake teeth once they get sober, you know. So then they look all classy, but then you pop it out for a little bit of fun later.
So back to.
All right, I'm sorry, I got to go to work, guys.
Later.
I'm gonna leave you guys with my crazy thoughts. You guys have a good day. I'll see y'all. I'll be around Monday though.
All right, see you, man.
All right.
Have a good weekend.
Peace.
So back to Vivek. Yeah, so that's been. He's not a serious candidate, but what he has done with his candidacy is on the debate stage make basically the worst of the rest of the field look like complete fucking morons. Like,
and even the best. Like, I mean, like this DeSantis, he like when Vivek and him. Like whenever there's any back and forth or whatever, it's just, Vivek is just destroying him. At least from my perspective. I mean, maybe there's still the hardcore DeSantis fans, right? There's still like DeSantis stands that are out there, but there's.
I've kind of felt like when he and DeSantis have their back and forth, so Vivek isn't he's not a serious candidate. Like a lot of the stuff he says is ridiculous. It
won't happen.
Right. He's pushing some of the
the harder right. I guess
Yes, he's pushing like the internet troll hard right side of stuff, which is fun. I love it because it infuriates Chris Christie, Mike Pence, and Nikki Haley. Like it gets all 3 of them. It gets their hair standing on end, and they just go full on batshit to go after him and talk about him saying all of this stuff. With DeSantis, I don't feel like it's had the same. Like DeSantis, more or less, is just like, can we just like? I feel like DeSantis has been more dismissive in the way he's approached that stuff, in that he's more or less acknowledging that like these are just like internet troll talking points that fire up a crowd. Can we actually be serious and talk about real topics for a change? And that's how I felt like DeSantis has approached most of it. And I haven't watched. I watched all of the first debate. I didn't watch all of the second debate. I just watched a few snippets here and there. So it's entirely possible that I missed a bunch of stuff that just in watching some of the highlights or the lowlights or whatever you want to call it. I do need to sit down and like actually watch the whole thing and get a good feel for it. But yeah, I felt like the interactions between DeSantis and Vivek have been a lot different than the interactions between Haley, Christie, and Pence and Vivek. And then like Tim, why is Tim Scott even still on the stage? Like,
yeah. Well, I mean, like, why couldn't somebody made a good point. Like, why is Berglund and Scott up there and like Larry Elder didn't get the chance to get on the stage? I mean, obviously it's probably a funding thing because those guys probably.
It is. It's the way they do these polls and different stuff. And like Burgum, I actually think Burgum is probably the best candidate of all of them on the stage, but he'll never get a snowball's chance in hell at even sniffing a nomination. Even if he wasn't trailing by like 80 points to Trump, he still wouldn't get a sniff at it because all of the other ones who are such establishment types, and he's not. So like,
well, and he's not a personality too. I think Vivek's kind of rising in the polls because they're like there's I guess this is a weird thing about elections is. This is the problem with DeSantis, I guess, is he's trying to cater too much to the donor crowd, and he's trying not to be offensive and everything. Whereas like Vivek, he's going out here, he's doing the like we said, like the online troll, like E-right kind of thing, like online right kind of thing. I'm just like, I'm going to just completely dismantle the government. We're going to do all this kind of stuff, and we know that's never going to really, in seriousness, happen, but. He's pushing some of those ideas, and the people who are kind of like super online, I guess, really like that. But and DeSantis is trying to play to the donor class and make sure, like, maybe we shouldn't, maybe we should make Europe pay their fair share instead of just saying, hey, the U.S. should help the U.S. and not be sending money to Ukraine. He has to say, well, maybe we should make Europe pay their fair share. It sounds like that's a really weak position to take, but it's the position that the donors like, I guess, because if you say no more war with Ukraine, then all the donors are like, wait a second, maybe like because they do believe in it, like that, and that's part of the problem is. Do you cater to the donor class? Do you cater to the actual? I guess. Do you cater to the actual people, or do you cater to the donors? And that's where a lot of these candidates are kind of lining up. But this is a funny exchange between Nikki Haley and Vivek. She really hates him. I gotta find the other clip in a second, but we'll play this one.
It's one of the most dangerous social media apps that we could have. And what you've got, I honestly, every time I hear you, I feel a little bit dumber for what you say, because I can't believe that here you've got a TikTok situation. What they're doing is these 150 million people are on TikTok. That means they can get your contacts, they can get your financial information, they can.
Which, by the way, you have to expressly tell the app that you share your contacts. I mean, I understand the outrage over like TikTok. Whatever, but they're basically upset that Vivek said, I'm going to put a campaign on TikTok because that's where the voters are. I don't see a problem with doing something like that, but a lot of the older, I guess, like that they're looking at it like, oh, this is a data issue. What if
they've got a major hard on for TikTok because TikTok steals your data, but TikTok doesn't share your data with the FBI and the CIA like
Facebook,
like Twitter and Facebook and Google. They're keeping it for other purposes, or basically they're sharing it with Chinese billionaires so they know how to properly market to you. Like tragedy of tragedies, right? Like it's why it's why they've had such a hard on for Apple for so long, because Apple absolutely loves to steal your data, but they have no interest in sharing that shit with the government. They're keeping it for themselves for their own marketing purposes and stuff like that. Like it's like, I don't give a shit. Everybody's stealing our data. I don't give a shit. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's where I've got to, you know, like the data issue. Like, as much as I don't like it, like, what are you gonna do? And a lot of the people were like saying like, oh, Google, you know, like I have a Pixel phone, right? And people were telling me like, oh, well, you got a Pixel phone, like Google's stealing your data. Like, so what? Like, everything and everywhere is tracking my data all the time. Like, if I open a web browser, or if I do anything, even businesses steal your data. Like, do you think that whenever I go to get, you know, a checkup at the doctor, like, or whatever, like if I have to get some medicine or whatever, do you think that they're not selling any of that data? No.
well, that's like, you know, their Zoom made some changes to some of their user agreements or something a few months ago, and now people are like, oh, I'm not using Zoom. Have you seen what they're doing with their data? Like, I really don't give a shit. Like, they were already doing it, they just didn't tell you. Now they're actually telling you. Like,
Yeah.
Tragedy of tragedies. They decided to be honest about it. Like, nothing changed, just they actually put it in writing. Like, this is it. They're all stealing everything. It doesn't fucking matter what if it, you know what, if it means that I get targeted ads that actually promote shit that I might want to buy instead of some of the dumb bullshit that pops up on my feed, I'm all for it. You know, and there are some things that I just don't need to see in life, and I have a very carefully crafted, you know, friends list on all social media and everything, so that I only see the things I want to see, and then I get these non-targeted, just random ass ads for dumb shit that I have no interest in, and I'm like, can I have some of those? Would you like some more of my data? How can I help you give me better targeted ads so that I would not mind the ad experience as I'm scrolling if they were actually ads I was interested in. But when I see this dumb bullshit that I don't care about, it's like, really? I thought we were better than this. Like, I'm pretty sure ChatGPT can figure out what ads to show me. Like, just put it in charge of the algorithm and steal more of my data so that I stop seeing Blue Chew and this other dumb shit.
Yeah, I mean, they actually, I guess, speaking of ChatGPT, like, just recently they added where you can actually do images with it. And see, all these people are like super mad about AI. Like, I'm not completely against it. I get where people are coming from, like with against AI.
I have come to the conclusion that as human beings, we are not fit to run this planet. We have fucked it up. So if it's AI's turn, okay, let's see if AI can do better. I don't think it can, but, you know, let's give it a shot. Let's see.
The next AI president.
Yeah, we are clearly not good stewards of this thing. So it's time to give somebody else a chance. And since nothing from the animal kingdom seems to right, I mean, you know, maybe, you know, the next smartest creature on the planet is dolphins, but since they're more interested in fucking whales than actually like trying to take over, I guess we'll just like move on. You got that article pulled up or handy?
Oh wait, is there an article about that?
Clyde sent it in the Signal group. It was about a SeaWorld somewhere, where they noticed this like weird looking baby after the dolphins and I'm trying to remember what they were. I think it was like maybe sperm whales. I can't remember. It was
you'll spam the group chat so much.
Or maybe it was some sort of like a small version or like a small breed of yes, killer whale.
Okay.
And let's see. They produced some sort of like
hybrid,
whale dolphin hybrid baby. That it looked like a dolphin, except that it was darker. It was darker and had like a snubbed off nose. It was like, oh. We're just not gonna go there, right? We're just not gonna.
The Wolfen. I guess it's is it?
No, that's not it. I don't think. No,
Yeah,
I don't think there were any pictures of it. I don't know if it actually lived. Surely it lived, right? Like,
I mean, they should be. I mean, it depends. They should be compatible enough DNA because they should share. Like that's. I guess that's part of it too. Like that's why. That's why. As much as I guess. As much as women want to let dogs do stuff to them, I don't think that we're going to see a dog-human hybrid anytime soon because we don't share enough DNA. But,
oh Lord Jesus, you had to bring it back around to that, didn't you? I thought we had moved on from the dog fucking stories.
Look, if they would stop doing it.
We can stop talking. I know. We've said the same thing about the incest shit and everything else. It's like, if these motherfuckers would stop doing it, we could stop talking about it. But here we are because they keep doing this shit. We have to keep talking about it because we need to highlight the insanity that is. See, this is why it's time for AI. Like, yes, we are the scourge on the earth. It's time to eradicate us and start over again. Let the cockroaches take it.
Oh well, yeah. I hate having to fight those things.
Oh my God! What's the evidence that a cockroach can survive a nuclear blast? Like, were there cockroaches still in the buildings in Chernobyl after that incident, or what?
I feel like it's just a meme, but because people they have trouble killing them because like even insecticides are really like a lot of times like they're iffy, and usually the ones you have to use are like so potent that they are harmful to humans. But I mean, like, let's see.
Well, that's because the way that a lot of those like insecticides and stuff work is it has to get underneath the hard exoskeleton. Like most bugs have the soft underbelly side, and it drags across the ground or something. So with their little legs, whenever they're like scurrying, they actually make contact with it and then it gets into them. But the cockroach, they have enough protection on their back and their legs are long enough that they don't really rub across the ground. So they're not making enough of a connection with that stuff. Like you really got to spray them fuckers right in the face if you're going to get them,
That's like my mom called like asking like, hey, one time like some of it like didn't work, like killing some of these bugs. And she was like calling like, hey, I guess making a complaint, and then they were like, "You have to spray directly on the bug." I'm like it's so good. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, like with most bugs, it can be like an incidental contact thing, but with them, it's got to be direct application. You can't just like trust that they're gonna touch it and then it's gonna take care of it. Like it doesn't work that way. But like you can't tell me that something that is susceptible to a size 14 can withstand a nuclear blast. Like I have no problem crushing them things underfoot. So
yeah, same.
I'm just saying.
It's just
like,
the only issue that I have is them suckers fast. Jesus Christ! Like, and what's funny is the bigger they are, sometimes the faster they are. Like normally with bugs, it's like the small ones are the faster ones. Dude, it's like
that's the nice thing about mosquitoes. That's the nice thing about mosquitoes. Like when we were out in Montana, there weren't a whole lot of mosquitoes, and the ones out like my wife and the kids got eat up for some reason. But I'm like, every single one of them is like this big. Like you can see it coming from 7 feet away. It's like, oh look, there's a mosquito. Oh, it's coming my way. Just like reach out and catch it like a fucking baseball and squish it. Like it's not difficult, but I don't know. Yeah, the bigger they are, the slower they are typically. But it seems like for cockroaches, the bigger they are, the stronger those legs are, and they can just like
zoom. Like yeah. Like a lot of times what I end up doing is like I end up catching like half of it, and then like then I go back for the second stomp on it, and like well, I didn't catch you the first time. I just got the legs. I broke your back legs. Now let's finish you off.
That's what I do with horseflies. Whenever like a horsefly lands on me, I'll grab it and I'll pop its wings off, and then I'll set it down and let it run. I don't kill the horsefly. I just let it starve to death on the ground because they're
they need to fly around. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Does that make me like sadistic or something? Whenever I do it, my kids look at me and they're like, "Oh, that's horrible. Why would you do that?" I'm like, "Cause fuck that parasite." I'm like, that's why. Maybe I am a little bit sadistic. My road rage is getting worse. It feels like the people are getting worse with their driving around here. Like every single day it gets worse. There were 3 wrecks yesterday. It didn't even rain hard. It was like just a little drizzle. 3 wrecks for no reason. One of them was completely flipped over. Like the road's not even wet. How the fuck did you flip over? Anyway, so like my and also the ones that talk like this, you're not gonna be able to see it, but you can see the ceiling of the truck, which means you know how I'm holding my phone. This is how they talk. Like they put it on speakerphone and they hold it like this. What does that fucking accomplish? Why? Idiots. So there was a guy this morning that was doing that number, and it was an on-ramp. So I'm coming from the left and he's coming from the right, which means I have the right of way so as not to slow traffic. But he just keeps barreling through, coming full speed with the yield sign in front of him.
Didn't even see the yield. He's just like, nah.
Yeah, he's just talking on his phone, going at it. I was like, motherfucker, if you don't slow down, I will hit you square in the driver's side door, push you all the way out into this motherfucking field, double tap with the gun that's in the door, put this bitch in reverse, and get back on the highway. Do not fucking test me this morning. And Sean the whole time just sitting over here like, he's like, Dad, you're a bad person. I was like, no, I'm just fed up with these terrible drivers. Be a better driver, and then we don't have these problems. And it's not.
Yeah, like I always tell my wife, like if there's literally a drop of rain, like people just literally lose their minds, like on the road around here. They go nuts because like they just start weaving in and out, like it's like no blinkers, obviously, but like they're diving like all the way across like 2 lanes of traffic to go somewhere. It's like, Jesus Christ, dude, like just chill. Like, I mean, it's raining. Like, we don't want to.
Well, and it's almost October, which means we're just a couple months away in this part of the world from starting to get cold weather and the potential for a little bit of ice and snow. Anytime there's just a little bit of snow on the ground, everybody's sliding off into the ditches everywhere. It's like when I was a kid, we had a 4-wheeler, and we take the 4-wheeler out in the mud and in the snow and like get sideways, and like you learn how to control a vehicle doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. And then we would take, like when I got into high school, if it snowed or something, or like if it rained real good, you go down in the bottoms in mud and you're like big mudding trucks and Jeeps and stuff, and just get out in the middle of a field and cut donuts and get sideways and like do all this stuff. Like we would learn how to control a vehicle in inclement weather. Like none of these city motherfuckers can drive for shit. Like as soon as it gets a little bit slick, like Sean, we were on one of these back roads that they were doing construction on, and so there was some like a little bit of oil on the road, and it had rained just enough to really make it fucking slick. And I got a little bit sideways and just straightened up, and like there was a car coming at us, and I got a little bit sideways and just straightened up and got back in my lane like there was nothing to it and kept going. Same happened whenever Mark and I were going to Mississippi State for the state Georgia game. Like it had snowed the night before, and we hit as we were heading, we hit a bridge, and there was a truck coming from the other direction as we get sideways on the bridge, and I just straightened it up and kept going. And Mark, when that happened, and my son, whenever we got sideways the other day, they're like, is everything all right? I'm like, yeah, that's no big deal.
see, I'm like that too. But like when my wife's driving, I'm always concerned. Like if she gets a little bit wobbly, I'm like, no.
Oh fuck no! If it's any kind of bad weather at all, even a little bit, I'm driving.
Let me drive. Yeah,
I don't trust any. Man, when we were on the way to Montana, it was middle of the night. I had been driving for. I think I'd driven for like 8 or 10 hours straight at that point, and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I just need like an hour to catch a little bit of a power nap. Well, it had been raining most of the way up to that point, which was another part of the reason why I needed a break, because like driving in heavy traffic in the middle of the night in heavy rain like that, it was fucking exhausting. Well, so as soon as the rain stopped, then it just went foggy as shit. And we had stopped at a gas station, filled up with gas, peed. I got in the passenger seat to take a nap, and Stephanie was going to drive. And she couldn't even get out of the damn gas station parking lot, like coming up to the light to get back on the highway. She's in the middle. She's like in the middle of 2 lanes. I was like, all right, just put it in park. I'm driving. It'll be fine. Like I'll sleep later. Like I'm not going to be able to sleep knowing you're about to kill us in the fog. Like we'll wait until the fog clears, and then I'll take a nap.
Yeah, that's why. Like literally, I've been where I felt like I was when we drove like 6 hours or whatever down to the beach or whatever. And it was like, Jesus Christ! Like I'll just take it the whole way. Like I just don't want you to, because she can't handle like any of the like on ramp, off ramp kind of stuff. But like she cannot handle that kind of stuff. She freaks out and I'm like, okay, you gotta go over like 2 lanes and get off that exit up ahead. And she'll just be like, she'll either have to like dive across, and I'm like, no, just wedge your way in there, because she's way too afraid. Like she doesn't have the like aggressive like I do, like just like stick your nose in there, and then you gotta go like stick your nose in, keep going with the flow of traffic, and you're good. And she can't do that.
Yeah. Stephanie thinks I'm too aggressive of a driver, but I'm just trying to get people to do what I want them to do. Like if you're going to camp in the left-hand lane, I'm going to run all the way up on your ass and make you so uncomfortable that you either go veering off into the median and get out of my way, or you get over in the right-hand lane and get out of my way. But one way or the other, you're getting out of my way. Like I do not abide campers. I am a very aggressive driver, but also like the fog thing. Like I watch television while I'm driving, do this while I'm driving. Like usually whenever I'm like on my way to work, I set the phone right here and I'll put a TV show on, like on Netflix or whatever, and just watch. And my wife and kids are all like, oh my gosh, you watch TV while you drive? Are you insane? You're going to wreck and die. I'm like, no, I drive by feel, not by sight. I don't have to see the road. That's why I'm such a good driver in the fog. I don't need to see what's going on. I just feel it out. Yeah,
I mean, like there's, I don't know. To me, sometimes I feel like there's like a sixth sense, because sometimes I know whenever I need to slow down, because like if somebody's like about to, I can almost sense sometimes like when people are about to like brake check, like this they're about to whip it and make a left turn real quick. Like I need to check up, and then I can keep going.
Well, and like there's a certain contour to the road. Like right now, I'm going on an uphill with a slight curve to the right, and there's a certain contour to the road that you can feel it. Like you can intuitively feel it in the steering wheel and just in the way your body and the vehicle is moving. Like you don't need to see everything. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird.
See, maybe you were just built for NASCAR. You could.
I bet I'd do better than Bubba Wallace, and I wouldn't have a problem with all them and I wouldn't have a problem with all them nooses in the shop either.
He probably would. I mean, he's only got like 1 win since that whole thing. So, and that was I felt like that was a fluke. But they were praising
Wasn't that like immediately after that happened?
Well, no, that's 2. He got 1 this season. Right after he got 1 win, and I was like, that's a fluke. And he's got 1 other fluke win that I felt like it was just because they got lucky, because everybody else would pitted at the wrong time. But I mean, it is what it is.
I don't watch NASCAR, and
I used to watch it a lot more. I was a big Jeff Gordon fan back before he retired.
You would be a Jeff Gordon fan.
What?
I've never been into it. We have like a dirt track back home, and so I go to like the dirt track races. Those are always a lot of fun. And then I had a buddy that did a lot of not the funny car, but like the regular drag racing type. So I went to a lot of drag races, but I never got into the NASCAR style races. It's not really my thing.
I always liked it because we have Dega here, so that's kind of
yeah.
I kind of came by it on us. Dad took me to Dega a few times. He got some free tickets, so we'd go watch the. We didn't watch the actual main races. Like back then, it was like, what was it, Sprint Cup by then? Yeah, it was. And then now, like we watched like the ARCA series, basically JV of that. But he got free tickets, so that was always fun to go get to see that. Vegas is a fun place on race weekend.
What else we got on the docket for today? I feel like I've missed out on a lot of news. I've been kind of busy this week, and so I haven't really been paying a whole lot of attention to much of what's been going on.
Well, we talked about the border crisis the other day, so we can go back to talking about the border. Here's a video now. So they had the picture, right? They wanted you to be sympathetic. The picture wasn't enough. It wasn't working well enough. So now they have video evidence of a mother and daughter.
2 years old. And it's going on. And it seems like she got her hand stuck.
Ya va, que la estás jalando ahí con algo, la estás jalando con algo.
The whole reason that the picture didn't get the response that they were hoping for was because it looked so staged. And then you've got this that is like very clearly staged. Like, oh my God. And not only that, but like, in order to stage this, you are actually putting a child in danger. Like,
yes.
Is that not dehumanizing? Like,
well, and you got this
and this
Joker
motherfucker,
yeah,
this motherfucker, like, he's talking about it and like coaching her through it. Like, bitch, you just like hopped the fence or went over, like adopt them and put them in your home if it's so terrible. Like, why are you standing there on that side of the fence commenting on it? Like, motherfucker, you're an illegal right now. You're on the wrong side.
Yeah, I mean, well, apparently, these stories are interesting enough, at least, to get the attention of a particular billionaire. Elon Musk is apparently interested in the border crisis.
Oh yeah. What did he went down there. What did he see?
He's serious about it. He was there was one of the posts, I forget, he talked about it's a real crisis. Where's the Yeah, he's saying he went down to the border and he's saying situation is beyond insane and growing fast. And there's some of these videos here of them having to you go through you see it again. CBP, like the border patrol, like they're freaking going through cutting wire, and then like Texas is having to put the wire down. Dude, it's just. But yeah, Elon Musk, his commentary is that it's insane. So clearly he saw something that he was none too pleased with, which he's
what's the position that he's taking on it? Like, I saw he had a tweet that said something about how much our government is concerned about Ukraine's border, but not about our own. Like, his
position is that a country should have borders. Like that, he literally said a country should have borders. Like that's.
So he's saying we should be securing it and addressing the border crisis by like turning these people away and telling them don't fucking come, stay the hell out. Let's secure the border and keep them away.
I think his position is more of the I guess how would you frame it? he's of the type we should have a strong border, but we should do the immigration thing. I guess like, hey, come through legally. That's sort of his. He's sort of the middle of the road kind of thing, like where we can bring in immigrants, and we just need to have a strong border though to make sure people aren't just crossing. No, I guess that's more of his position, which I mean is reasonable. I do, but at the like we are like even so we are legally immigrating a ton of people right now. So I do think we could cool it off with that kind of stuff, but I don't know. That's
well, see, the thing is, the ones who are coming legally end up settling in communities together, and then you get like the Michigan Muslim thing where they end up not being super supportive of a lot of the progressive bullshit. You end up getting the same thing that you see with a lot of like the Cuban and South American immigrants who have come legally and done it the right way. Then they all go settle in a community together and start voting against left-wing socialist policies because the places that they came for had actual socialism and communism, and it was a horrible thing, and they don't want to see that happen again. Like they don't want. See, that's the thing is the left does not want more legal immigrants because the legal immigrants are coming because they're trying to escape from the horrible shit that they came from, and the horrible shit that they came from is propagated by fucking progressive policies. They want the ones who are coming illegally so that they can try to convince them that if it wasn't for their progressive policies, these people would never get the opportunity to escape from those terrible situations. And so then they kind of wrangle them into voting for them. Like it's the whole fucking thing. It's a big game, but like once you figure out that it's a game and the game is rigged, then you're ready to start playing the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, like, I guess, that would be the best way to play it. Then I guess, hey, if you're going to come legally, we've got to really vet you, and then we're going to have such a strong border though that you can't just be coming across. Like nobody's just gonna. We're not never like if we had such a strong border, it would be like nobody's ever just crossing it again. I mean, if you do, you're gone on the spot. That if we had that strong of borders, and then we process people the right way, then and made them jump through all these hoops and like, hey, if you're going to do this, we need to show proof. Then yeah, they would value it a lot more. I think that may be what it is. Is like the ones that are coming here illegally, a lot of them just they don't value it because they've basically got it for free in a lot of sense. Like I mean, yeah, they had such a long that's sort of the less thing. Like they had such a long hard journey, but like I mean, once they got here though, you're willing to give them free. Free healthcare and all this kind of stuff. That's what you want to do. Whereas, if they had come through legally and then they appreciate it, that would be a much better. If they came through from so far and then they went through the process legally, then yeah, there would be a reason to kind of celebrate their achievement, whatever. But I mean, just running across.
Or if the problem is if the problem is the long, hard journey that they had, then just load them all up on a big carrier plane and fly them back. Then they don't have a long, hard journey back. You're just going to fly them over. Strap a parachute on all of them. Be like, all right, which country do you want to jump off into? Like, where? Like, you can't stay. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here. You get to decide where you're jumping. Like, free ride wherever you want.
My casa, mi casa, not la casa.
We don't care where you jump. We'll leave the hatch open. You just got to get out before we turn around. Like, this is like Fortnite. You know, by the end of the line, you got to be out the plane. Don't care where you go, just be out.
Yeah. That's how we should handle it for sure. But yeah, that's basically Elon Musk's position. He was talking about it, and he went down there to see it, and he's like, yeah, it's bad, and we should be securing our border and then just processing them legally. Which, that's the most reasonable position from any person, but we know how the left are, and they're so mad at him that they're calling him some big right wing, border patrol agent kind of guy. It's like, Jesus.
Anything that does not perfectly espouse leftist ideology is right wing bigotry. Like that's how this works. That's how it's always worked, but especially now. Either you are sided with them, or you are their sworn enemy. And I mean, in every you're with species, no matter what, that's always fucking retarded.
Oh, well, we can do one more clip and then we can end it. I had one more thing.
I thought you needed to get to work. I was trying to
I'm
set
going
it up.
to. Well, I'm going. I will one after this clip right here. I'll do this clip.
False alarm.
Talking about the president of the United States committed. But when we start talking about things that look like evidence, they want to act like they blind. They don't know what this is. These are our national secrets. Looks like in the shitter to me. This looks like more evidence of our national secrets, say on the stage at Mar-a-Lago. When we're talking about somebody that's committed high crimes, it's at least indictments. Let's say 32 counts related to unauthorized retention of national security secrets, 7 counts related to obstructing the investigation, 3 false statements, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, falsifying business records, conspiracy to defraud the United States, 2 counts related to efforts to obstruct the vote certification proceedings, 1 count of conspiracy to violate civil rights, 23 counts related to forgery or false document statements, 8 counts related to soliciting, and I could go on because he's got 91 counts pending right now. But I will tell you what the president has been guilty of. He has unfortunately been guilty of loving his child unconditionally, and that is the only evidence that they have brought forward. And honestly, I hope and pray that my parents love me half as much as he loves his child.
So yeah,
Repeal the 19th and the 13th all at once. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
they keep bringing up the 91 counts, except that if you go and look at the 91 counts,
you notice how she said convicted.
Really,
she hasn't been convicted. He's
right.
been charged.
He's been convicted of literally nothing, and they always bring up this 91 counts, except that if you go look at the 91 counts, it's actually like the same 3 things just repeated 91 times. Like there's no
in different ways,
Yeah, it's the dumbest shit ever. Like any reasonable judge would look at the way they've done this and be like, okay, I'm throwing this out for being fucking stupid. Like either take this back and fix it and put it all together as one charge, or don't come back. Like any reasonable judge looking at the way they're handling this would tell them, get the fuck out of here. You're fucking retarded.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.